let's go ahead and talk about this. Everyone say hi, YouTube. Here's the rundown. Here's the rundown of this. Recently, Sakurai was in an interview, which I think was the first like public interview that he did since, you know, the whole hype ended with all the characters were out and this and that. Sakurai talked about the future of Smash in a new interview, and you'll see right here, he was interviewed by Famtisu, and Famtisu is known for doing a lot of Nintendo-related stuff, and they're a pretty convenient source of information. Basically, you know, the first question they asked him was actually whether or not he would create a new sequel, which I think is what everyone is trying to figure out right now. You know, is this guy retiring? Is the era over? Guys, we have a huge giveaway coming up. We're giving away a brand new Nintendo Switch OLED. All I have to do is type into the comments below and say my favorite channel is Hungrybox. The character you main, like and subscribe. We'll choose a winner, and we'll see who gets the first big prize. It said at first he said impossible, and then later clarified that he nor Nintendo have solidified any sequel plans. So the fact that he said impossible first, if you want my read on this, I think he was like, he said something, and then he was probably like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And then he kind of like took it back and said, oh, well, there's no plans yet. It's impossible. It's weird to go from like just straight impossible and then saying, there's no plans. So, I don't know, maybe he like misspoke or said too much, I feel. I'll be surprised. Like, people happen sometimes. That's a point of interviews, because you can capture people like at their rawest or whatever. So, as we go back down, a few quotes follow, discuss the potential of a sequel. In some, Sakurai seems unsure about a path ahead of Smash Bros. But the one that jumps out at me is this, and this is the one I wanted to focus on for this video. If the series were to continue, I have to talk with Nintendo and have a debate on whether it will succeed or not. I must think about this topic seriously. So he has doubt in his mind. He has doubt in his mind that if he was to do another Smash game, that it would be successful. And that's very telling. I mean, this is like one of the most successful game series like of all time. So it's kind of weird to think that he would have any doubt with it at all. And then you have to understand, what does he measure as success, right? Anyway, even if Sakurai doubts himself, it's pretty crazy. Sakurai has spoken previously about how he's been considering what the next steps are for his career. And everyone says, you know, he should let the man rest. And, you know, in this other interview too, you know, this article came out earlier, which started the whole speculation of it. That's saying he was considering retirement, ending a 20-year Famtisu column. You know, and he was contributing to this magazine column for 20 years, which is really, really cool. You know, and essentially the question is, with his game now done, with all the DLC out, why would... A lot of people don't get to be in this position, you know, when they've created a game and a series, something so iconic to the rest of the world. A lot of people don't get to be in that position where they can decide, am I happier doing this, or am I happier just letting my work speak for itself and not worrying about it? In the case of Sakurai, I really do think, you know, he should get the call. He should get the final call as to whether or not he gives someone else the blessing to continue the series, or if he wants it to end. Because a lot of times when you give someone, you know, all the tools you need to create a sequel, especially when it comes to movies or TV shows, and then they try to remake it, what you get is a result that's so off kilter, so away from what the original product really was, that it's not even considered like canon anymore. It's not even considered part of the original sequence anymore. And so from that, I get it. Like, I really do get it. Like, I'm trying to think of what the perfect example is of giving the reins to someone else. And I think actually SpongeBob SquarePants, I think that TV show, when they gave it off to the new creators, new writers, and whatnot, it just changed. It feels like two different shows to me. Metal Gear, Star Wars. That one's huge, right? Star Wars, with the prequels and the new ones that they recently did. Just feels like a completely different series. Not necessarily good or bad. Some people like them, some people hate it, as you'll see in this chat. But it's weird. Like, you don't really call it Star Wars. You call it like oh, do you like the Star Wars sequels or the prequels, right? And I think what Sakurai wants to avoid is that exactly. He wants to avoid the notion of, oh, do you like Sakurai Bros? Do you like Sakurai Smash Bros? Or post-Sakurai? Post-Sack, right? Pre-Sack, post-Sack, whatever it's called. He doesn't want the series to lose magic. I mean, let me remind you how many characters are in this game. And let me remind you that this man, he's not going to let it go to waste over something small, right? So, as much as I would love for there to be another Smash game and for the party to continue, I'd understand. I'd be at peace with it being at the end. So, the only question is this: who would you hand that control to? Who, if Sakurai was to name a successor, whether it's another game developer, another studio, or whatever it is, who do you even give that to? You know? So, it's definitely a hard choice. I don't think, like, do you give it to an indie dev? Do you give it to Ludosity? Who do you give that to? And the answer is probably no one. So, with that being said, he's calling the last shot. But this is the last thing I'll say about it. This is the last weird part. Nintendo likes making money. Sometimes they actually hate making money. That's a different question. But generally, as a business, Nintendo likes making money. What happens if in the year 2025, when they release the Switch U, whatever the hell they call it, or the Nintendo Revolution finally, or this amazing, the first ever Nintendo 4K console is going to happen eventually. Press 4 if you agree. It will happen. It's only a matter of time. Nintendo's always a little late to the party of the news trend, but that's how they keep the consoles cheap. And when it happens, there's gonna have to be a Super Smash Bros. Game on a 4K console. It's just, there has to be. There has to be. So, does Nintendo, if Sakurai says, I'm out and I don't want you to make more, do they just take Sakurai's work and port it and make it new again? Or do they redo the entire thing with someone who has a similar vision who wants to do it? Because if it's one thing Nintendo knows, it's that Smash Bros. Will sell. Regardless if Sakurai is in the picture or not. But if the new Smash Bros. Feels like PlayStation All-Stars, it's an easy way to lose a fan base. So yeah, guys, everyone say bye, YouTube. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would Nintendo continue to do a new Smash Bros? Or would this just be the end of a beautiful legacy? What comes first? The legacy or the luxury for a company? We'll see. Thanks, guys.